Salud, mi gente, your boys coming through once again. Before we continue with this video, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. For those who've been showing support, I do highly appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. Well, today's video is going to be something personal, man. September 15th, right? Right here in Mexico, everybody gets together because at midnight, they do the grito, right? Viva Mexico. 3 times, 4 times, I don't know how. I've never been to those events. But for me, it's something special. It's the day that I was released from CDCR custody. It is crazy that I never thought about that until this week. See, when I got out, my mentality was, okay, I did that time, which was 15 years. I got sentenced to 20 years because of the youth offender program or whatever law. I got granted parole. My out date was going to be on June 2025. So I would have got out this year, a couple months ago. So because of that, I had a chance of regaining my freedom a little bit more early. But when I got out, I never thought about prison time. I never went back and reminisced about my prison time. That was something that I wanted to let go. You know, I had talked to other homeboys, other people I know in prison, and they used to talk about prison this, prison that. And my mentality was like, man, screw prison. I don't want to talk about that. I lived that. I did that already. I'm tired of that. You know? Why all of a sudden we are out here on the streets and people want to talk about prison? You know what I mean? I'm cool with prison. So I never even thought about the day that I got released, right? So all these past 3 years, never even crossed my mind, okay, on September 15th, that's the day I got released. No, never crossed my mind. But I do want to share how was my experience when it came down to my release, right? After doing 15 years. So like I said, I went to BOR. I got granted. I remember when I went to BOR, I got granted. And I couldn't believe it. I thought they were going to deny me. I was scared for sure. You know, it's either right here or right here. You know, if I was to be denied in that parole board, I was going to get my out date regardless, right? 2025, June. So when they told me, hey, your thing was granted, I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe it. I remember I went back and a couple guys asked me, hey, how it went. I said, yeah, they granted me, right? And at the time, I was happy, but I still couldn't process it. I couldn't process it. You know what I mean? After 15 years. You can say 15 years easy, but it's not easy, man. It's a long time. So I remember getting ready that first, my last week. Start giving my property away, right? Okay, who's going to get my TV? Who's going to get this? Who's going to get my canteen? You know what I got left. Start giving everything away. I mean, slowly. You know what I mean? It's you know what? I don't think I'm going to need this many things. Cosmetic, I don't need them. And stuff like that. Yeah, I did that at like a week before my release date. And right before I went home, that's when I actually, okay, here's my TV. There you go. Like everybody knew where my stuff was going to go to. And there was no misunderstanding because I told everybody, look, this person's going to get this person is going to get that. Simple as that, you know? It came for me at, what was it, like 4 in the morning? No, it had to be like 5 to 4 in the morning. They came for me. The cop walked me through, you know what I mean? Came with the list. And you're this? Yes. All right, let's go. It was just me and another guy who paroled to Bakersfield. Paisano. He didn't have papers. He didn't have papers. But guess what? He got to stay in the States, right? Even though he didn't have papers. He told me, oh, I don't got papers. You know? But I did have an ICE hold. And it was surreal. My whole thought, it was like, oh, man, September 15th. It's early in the morning. Might be released. I mean, we gotta do the the celebration of Mexican Independence Day. It's gonna be party. That was my thought process. That whole time I was in the holding tank, I had a hold. And I was like, man, maybe I'm gonna slip and stuff like that. I was seeing how everybody was being paroled, how their family members came through, picked them up, how everybody who their family members was gonna go pick them up at in front of the prison. I don't know if they're in front of the prison or they go to a certain spot. I think they go to a certain spot. They get in a van and the prison staff drop them off somewhere. And I seen them take off on that little bench, and I was like, damn, that's crazy, man. After 15 years, finally, I get to see the streets again as a free man. Everything just crossed my mind. How I spent all that time in prison. Like, what happened with my 20s, my 30s, everything, my late teens. Everything, man, crossed my mind. But at the same time, I was happy. Nervous, of course. You're going to be nervous because you don't know what's going to happen, right? How you going to make it. Everything start crossing your mind. Okay, what I'm going to do. How I'm going to do this. I don't got a job. I don't got savings. I don't have nothing. And I remember they came and picked me up. ICE. I was no longer part of CCR. I felt even different. I didn't feel like a prisoner no more. Even though I still was in custody, I didn't feel like a prisoner no more. I feel like a regular guy. That at least I got some rights back. Like I was more like a civilian than actually an inmate. I thought they were gonna let me go right there and then. I had asked certain people, hey man, what's gonna happen with me? Are you just gonna pick you up and after that they'll drop you off the following day or that same night at the border? I was like, hell yeah, man. 15, they come and pick me up. It's gonna be at night, 8 p.m. or something, and we go celebrate Independence Day. Let's do this. But nah, that's not what happened. I end up staying, I believe, three and some change of weeks, like I don't know, like 20 something days in custody until I signed my papers off. And people had asked me, hey, why you didn't fight for your papers, right? I had papers. I was not illegal. And I was like, you know what? Because I just wanted my freedom. Didn't matter where they were going to put me at. I just wanted my freedom. I was not willing to spend another day in custody. Simple as that. I was ex-prisoner, a felon. So for me to get a bond, those detention centers would have been different, man. I don't know if I was gonna get it or not, but I just wanted to be done with courts. Wanted to be done, and being in custody, I was done. I just seek my freedom, and I was willing to sign off my rights to be in the States, which I violated those rights when I committed my crime. That's why I don't. When things like that happen, like about individuals breaking the law in the States, I do agree, deport them. You have a right to stay in the States, but once you violate that right, once you take that for granted, they can take away those rights. Like nothing. So I managed to come to Mexico, to a country that I didn't know that much about. Scared for sure. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I always say I only have my stimulus check in my back pocket. What was it, like $1,400? We lived for like $1,400, and just a dream. Being my own boss, just a dream. I always been thinking about since I was locked up. I have always thought about, if I get out, I'm not gonna have opportunities So I had to make my own opportunity by building a business. If I was to stay in the States, I already had a plan for that. I already had a plan for that. Now the difference is that I came to Mexico and I knew I wanted to do business, but I didn't know what kind of business. Why? Because I didn't know what was needed in Mexico. I didn't know what is the market in Mexico. I knew what is needed in the States, but in Mexico I didn't. You know. And what I was planning to do in the U.S., there's a lot of things in Mexico about that, so that went out the window. A lot of competition, but I did manage to hustle here and there, save up some money, uh, come with an idea, saw an opportunity, and I went for it without even knowing how to make that. Without even knowing, you know. Scare? Hell yeah. Always scare. But that didn't stop me from accomplishing what I wanted to do. And even though sometimes certain people might say, okay, this guy's a baker, or this guy is, I mean, the donut man, or whatever, it does not fade me, man. It does not affect me at all, because at the end of the day, I was the one who had the balls to start something by myself without knowing how to do it. And I managed to do it. Simple as that. So nobody can take that away from me. Nobody. So when people try to make fun or stuff like that, when, you know, you have to understand what is the source where those comments come from. You're like, man, come on, man. For reals? That is something, I mean, that's something that I'm proud of. Starting what I started, and I'm still pushing. You know, it's not easy, man. I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. Exhausting. It's exhausting. But I'm right here now. I started my YouTube channel. Thank you for the support. We're pushing forward, and as you guys can see it, man, transparent. I'm not lying that, oh, I go to work. I show you that I go to work. I show you that I break my back. You know, I show you that I got my family. I show you my improvements. Since we started this channel, man, you guys seen the improvements I have done to the house, you know? And slowly, man, you're going to see me. I'm telling you guys, you're going to see me when I get my beach house. That's my big goal right there, getting my beach house. I'm going to get the money that I need to get so I can buy that house next to the beach. And you guys going to be right there front and center, seeing how I'm evolving, not stuck on the same spot, not doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Not over here doing lives, doing the same thing over and over and over again, just like a revolving cycle. No, we move forward. You're gonna see my how my life changes, and I'm honored to show you that to you guys. Why? Because you guys know where I came from. You guys know how much time I spent in prison. And you guys know how hard I worked to accomplish my goal. So hopefully it can help people be like, damn, if that motherfucker can't do it, man, I can do it as well. That motherfucker just started with this $1,400 stimulus check. And before the question, oh, how you got a stimulus? I had papers. I got my social security number. If I want to work in the States, I can work with my social security number. I got it. But because I did what I did, I got revoked, right? But I wish I can be like an example. And I have a different channel, man. And when I see people saying like, damn, man, you live in Mexico, you started from nothing, now look where you're at. You are inspiring. You mean that anything is possible as long as you put in the hard work. You know, nothing is easy. Nothing is going to be given to you. You have to fight for that shit, you know? And now this September 15, 4 years after being locked up, being under CDCR custody, I just all that thing just is going through my head, and that's why I chose to share this with you guys. So hopefully you like this video, man. Thank you very much for the support. I do highly appreciate you. I do highly appreciate you guys. So with this being said, we are out to next video. Thank you.